weekend coming up, Yale Brown. I mean, come off the tie with Cornell. I mean, how much momentum can you build off of that tie?
Oh, trying to build off it this week through practice off that tie. It's such a fine line. You just want to find that. I think we talked about it after the game. The believability, seeing that through practice, and I think if that continues, then hopefully it's some good results this weekend. But it's not just going to happen, as you know.
You said afterwards, you referred to the old Herb Brooks line. And first of all, can you just give a little background on your connection to Herb back in the day and why he's constantly a sort of a theme maker for you and things that you do, but also if you tell your team that, how do you expect them to react to it?
Well, the connection, first, why I like him so is the fact that the character of the man. I had a chance. I came up when he was a coach and I was a player, so we had some interactions, even though I was against his teams. We had a chance to talk, and then as a scout, he had drafted one of our players that we worked with. Name was Bobby Gepford when he was with Pittsburgh. So he stopped by the rink after a game at Providence, and I asked him, "Hey, do you mind coming down and talking to the staff?" At the time, Paul Pooley and David Berhard, who's now the head coach at Holy Cross and the associate coach at Notre Dame, and he talked to us for like an hour and a half. So right then and there, I mean, it's just a phenomenal guy, and he was great. Like he held the room for an hour and a half of just pure hockey talk, and he's just a good guy. And then another episode when we were in St. Cloud when I was with Providence, and we were up in the stands. We sat next to each other and we were talking, and he slid over a sheet about a recruit, and I hate to say that I didn't follow up because I didn't think that he was, at the time, a top player. He eventually went on to play, but he wasn't a top six guy, which we needed at that time. But I really appreciated him sliding that piece of paper across. I think I even kept it somewhere, but a keepsake. So, but he was just and I think people argue with me, but I think it was one of what he did with that 1980 Olympic team is the single best coaching job of any job in professional sports or Olympics or anything.
You're more so than yours? You won the national championship?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then some. So I wouldn't even, that's not even on the radar, Ken.
You didn't work with him in a clinic or something like that. It's my bad memory. It seems to me there's something. Okay,
no. Not that I know. No,
But
I know I've had a few concussions, but no.
I'm due for one.
Yeah.
But back to the quote that you threw at your team.
Sure.
How do you expect them to embrace that or respond to it, I guess?
I mean, we don't know until we strap it on and get playing on Friday night. Like I'm just as curious as the next guy. Our coaching staff has a say in this, and that's what we're trying to do and hold everyone accountable through our practice, so they are ready to go for Friday night, and that's what we're doing.
Why do you think, not specifically your team, but it just seems in hockey when teams get up 2-3-0 early in a game, they seem to let up, and then it's all of a sudden now. Let's the other team get in. We're seeing close. What happened to the killer instinct? I mean, back when you and I were growing up, teams got up big, they put their pedal to the metal.
Mentality. I think we've lost, a little bit. Again, it's just a humble opinion, but I think we've lost a little bit of that edge at times that those players before had and had to go through growing up, playing on the ponds when it was freezing and taking one off the shins, and the older kids picking on you or whatever it was. You hardened up, and I think on the ponds, if you were up by 10, you wanted to get 11. You didn't want to give him a goal. You wanted to beat him by not 10 zip, but 11 zip. And I there was something about the pond hockey that I think is lost, and I really feel for today's era that they don't have that.
It's in any sport. I mean, people complain about running up the score. Well, my thought is, if you can't stop them, why are you complaining?
Again, that always goes back to a guy who's going in the Hall of Fame that you appreciate is Jimmy Johnson, and he would take a lot of grief for running the score up, and that was his philosophy. You can't stop it. Is it my fault? And then there's other trains of thought where, personally, if we were up 5-0 in a game and there's 5 minutes left, are we going to put the number one power play number two? No, we're not. No, we're not. I think you have to have some code of conduct there, unless it was done to us from that particular team.
Somebody asked Jimmy Johnson about that. I think it was last year. I was reading the story, and he said, "Well, my point of reference on that is we were up like 5 touchdowns on somebody. This is when he was coaching Miami early on,
Right.
and they wound up getting bombed in the second half and wound up losing a game that they had no business
Sure.
losing." So
Yeah.
that's
There's always a reason. Like I don't know what the reason was when he played that team before. There was a big rivalry or something. So, only he can answer those questions.
I talked to Gabriel Seeger yesterday, and I'd asked you about him earlier in the season. You said he reminded you of Sebastian, and one similarity was that when he first got here, skating was something that Sebastian needed to work on, and it's a very similar thing with Gabriel. Since we talked about that, whatever, month and a half, 2 months ago, have you seen progress on that front with him?
Yeah, he's made the effort to work on his power skating after practice, along with a few of our other guys after our one-on-one meetings, which is really nice to see. Because in the second half it gets ramped up. The hockey's not getting slower, so you got to adapt with it, and that's our message. And you try to get that through practice, by the pace of practice, but more importantly, those guys working on areas of their game in the skating department after practices or a skill session.
Besides size, what does he bring to the table that you guys like as a player?
He's very smart. That to me just jumps off the table. Really, and puck protection to keep plays alive in the ozone play, because he's just so smart, and he can puck protect. He shields that puck. He's pretty good as a freshman. I'm going to like to see him as a senior. And we want, he almost won like a Jaromir Jagr look to him by his senior year, where that puck is his and his alone. And I think he's starting to develop that now. And I just think he's still trying to figure out the game, this college game. And once he does, and he can slow it down a little bit too, to his pace, reminds me a little bit of Kelly Zajac. Kelly Zajac, when he first got here, was one smart hockey player, one of the smartest hockey players we've had a chance to work with. And it took him a year plus to figure out the game, to slow it down to his pace. And not many players have that ability, and Kelly Zajac did. And I think Gabriel Seeger has the same ability to do that as well.
He's been consistently paired with Rinaldi pretty much the whole season. What do you like about that combination? You got a puck possession guy who's big, and
Right.
a fast guy with a good shot.
Well, we like the fact that Anthony Rinaldi and Christian Sanda push the pace for him. So you got to keep up. You don't have a choice.
He said that yesterday.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
Right.
So and in turn you get faster. And you as a staff and a personal thing, you learn that when you played with a fast guy. So, and then the second thing we like is the fact that he can make plays to those guys. So it's a give and take on that line, and that's what we like about it.
Is the goal against Cornell kind of an illustration of a give and take, where Anthony kind of patiently, and Gabriel equally patiently getting his position in front?
Yeah,
The other guy to make the play.
Yeah, that was a tremendous poised play. That was a poise versus panic. And Anthony made a tremendous play, and Gabe had the hands to put it in. And he also kept his feet around the net when it was really chaotic. So in order to get a Pack-a-Wolves goal, you got to be able to keep your feet. And that's what he did.
You had a chance to talk to the league about the penalty shot there Friday night?
I haven't talked to the league. I haven't talked to the director of officials. I'm not going to. We know the rule, and we moved on. And that's the best thing that we could do. That's what we did, and I think it helped us by not dwelling on it for the next night.
Any timetable on Ferris being back in
Well, he's back today for the first practice, so, but that's, that's give or take for this weekend.
He's doing everything at practice, or has he got
Yes.
the red jersey?
Yes. Yes. But he's questionable for this weekend.
You're
And
happy to at least make that stuff.
yeah, I mean, yeah, oh yeah, tremendously. I mean, I really liked that line when it was going. I thought Chaz Smezru did a nice job there. But with Owen Ferris there, it's a big, heavy line. And it can wear on teams' top lines, which they were doing. So hopefully, when Owen gets back, that we can put that line back together and just try to get the same results.
Are you still examining the positioning of Voss, whether he's front line or back line? I know he started at D against Colgate on Friday. I don't know if it's any coincidence, but he was forward line Friday and D on Saturday.
See, Mike, you can't even ask the question because you're so confused.
you got me around. You got me in the press up here with this guy.
So, and that's where we're going to keep it, so I can confuse you, and I can't confuse Ken.
Not hard to do.
I can't.
I'm
Yeah.
already
Not
confused.
difficult.
I'm the same way, and I'm coaching. So, no, it's going to be one of those. Whatever we need him, he's going to be a Swiss Army knife, similar to what Ryan Walker was different, and he played 3 different forward positions. Where Voss can play anywhere. I know he mentioned goaltender, but that's not happening.